Well, good morning, everybody. I'm feeling much better today, and I wanted to do this video. This is from healingwithnutrition.com, Oxygen Cleansing and Detoxification Program, which is what I've been doing lately for the past about 3 weeks. Cellular cleansing. Each of the 100 trillion cells that make up your body are, in reality, individual living systems enveloped in an outer coating called a cell membrane, which keeps the living unit intact. Cleansing the individual cells of the body requires the use of a substance that is able to not only permeate the membrane of the living cells, but the many other protective barriers the body has in place as well. One of the more difficult barriers to penetrate is the blood-brain barrier. This is designed to prevent harmful substances that have entered the internal environment of the body from being carried by the blood into the brain. This mechanism will allow only a specific, finite number of substances through. If we want to also cleanse and detoxify the brain tissue, we need to choose a medium that will travel freely throughout the body to every cell. Alright, this is about food-grade hydrogen peroxide. Well, let me read the article, and then I'll kind of tell you as I go my experience with it. There are two substances which fit this description, and both exercise a powerful potential cleansing and detoxification mechanism upon both cells and organ systems of the body. The first is a suspension of liquid, bioelectrically active trace minerals from organic sources. These elements in their organic compound state have the ability to chelate or remove heavy metals from living tissue. So I've been doing this for about 3 years. 3 weeks, I'm sorry, because I have too much oxygen in my brain. And I am really amazed at what's being pulled out of my body. It's unbelievable. Alright, excuse me. Food-grade hydrogen peroxide also breaks down all the heavy metals, like it just says. Breaks down or rusts them, so to speak. Because heavy metals rust in the presence of oxygen. Actually, that's further down the article, so. Anyways, for now, our discussion will focus on the second substance. So important is this element, rightfully called the universal detoxifier. We cannot live in its absence for more than a few minutes. This substance is, of course, oxygen. It's hard to imagine being deficient in oxygen. No, it isn't. Everybody is deficient in oxygen. Alright? With the chemtrails, with the fires, everybody is oxygen deficient. Many of us are and have been for years. One of the obvious ways in which the body obtains oxygen is through breathing. Okay? Yeah, but look at what we breathe, you guys. We breathe in chemicals from chemtrails, smoke. You know, it's just, nobody's getting enough oxygen. Yet, in our sedentary society, very few people have the opportunity to really fill their lungs with oxygen. In fact, if you sit straight up right now and take 10 really deep breaths, you may find out just how out of shape your lungs really are, and it can be most uncomfortable. Because of this sedentary lifestyle, the lack of exercise, especially as we age, can provide less than optimal oxygenation of the blood and body tissues. Oxygen is the universal cleanser. Through the process of oxidation, the thousands of potentially harmful toxins which enter the body are broken down or rusted down into their basic elements in readiness for harmless elimination. Did you hear what I just said? This breaks down everything This hydrogen peroxide, food-grade hydrogen peroxide body cleanse removes pretty much everything out of your body, right down to those nanofibers, which I've been scraping off my tongue, all right? The other night, I was so shocked. I went into the bathroom, and I thought I had a hair stuck down my throat, and I opened up my mouth, and my tongue was black. It was absolutely black. And when I scraped it off, I saw a lot of broken down nanofibers when I spit it out into the sink. So it's breaking it down. As the number of toxins in the body rises, as we all know that this is happening because we're being exposed to so much, so the need for oxygen also increases. This circumstance can easily produce an even greater reduction of available oxygen. Further, the presence of chronic ongoing disease drains the body of larger amounts of oxygen in detoxifying the byproducts of the disorder. Okay. If we wish to cleanse every cell of the body, increasing the oxygen in the bloodstream is the single greatest method of accomplishing this. When the blood becomes oxygen-rich, it transports the oxygen to every cell of the body, including the brain cells. In the presence of oxygen, cellular waste and toxic buildup are broken down and carried off in the bloodstream to the kidneys. It has been discovered that food-grade hydrogen peroxide can be safely introduced orally or by intravenous infusion into the body. This effectively raises the blood oxygen levels throughout the entire body and may be the answer to many of our present-day chronic and stubborn infectious diseases. Okay, so I love this stuff. I mean, it's a hard cleanse. Okay, it's really hard. You actually have to have at least 2 or 3 weeks where you don't have to go to work, which is the sad thing, because people have to work. But this stuff makes you tired, gives you headaches. You got to stay close to a bathroom at all times. So, but well worth it. Hydrogen peroxide is completely natural. In fact, when it breaks down, the residue is simply oxygen and pure water. Under certain circumstances, your body has the ability to Under certain circumstances, your body has the ability to produce hydrogen peroxide as a natural killer of pathogens. All right. So, that also means that viruses, bacteria, pathogens, as well as cancer cells cannot survive in an oxygenated environment. Okay? This is an excellent way of killing off cancer cells with oxygen. That's the only way. All right. Chemotherapy, the radiation, that actually feeds the cancer cells. So, anyways, use of hydrogen peroxide to increase bodily oxygen is not new. It has been used around the world since the turn of the 19th century. Raising blood oxygen levels is important for many reasons besides its cleansing and detoxifying properties. Most pathogens, viruses, and bacteria, which can enter our bodies and ultimately make us sick, have an anaerobic metabolism. In other words, they survive best in an oxygen-deficient environment. When we increase the oxygen to the living tissues of the body, these pathogens cannot effectively multiply and in many cases are destroyed outright. Recent studies have shown that the virus suspected of causing AIDS, as well as herpes, hepatitis, Epstein-Barr, and I can't pronounce that one, join the group of viruses that are lipid-coated. It has also been shown that many lipid-enveloped viruses are destroyed in the presence of concentrated oxygen. Let's see. Okay, the most common substance used in current retail products sold for oxygen enhancement is chlorine dioxide. You don't want that one. Alright, chlorine dioxide is easy to use and remains stable in almost any solution. This is why it is favored over hydrogen peroxide, which is very unstable and almost impossible to suspend in any liquid other than plain water. The problem with the chlorine dioxide, however, is that when it breaks down, while it does yield an increase in oxygen, the byproducts are chlorine and oxygen, whereas the peroxide is oxygen and water. Chlorine is the stuff we remove from the drinking water because we all know it's a cancer-causing substance. Therefore, we are left with hydrogen peroxide. Alright. Food-grade hydrogen peroxide has absolutely no impurities, unlike the antiseptic versions sold in the pharmacies, which should never be taken internally. Alright? It has to be food-grade. Food-grade hydrogen peroxide comes generally in a 35% solution. This concentration is so strong it will burn your skin and destroy living tissue. Therefore, it must be diluted down to a tolerable strength. And you mix that with, I'm mixing it with distilled water. Okay, how does it work? How does oxygen work? As with all phases of life, there must be a balance, hot and cold, wet and dry, attraction and repulsion. The Oriental philosophies express this two-way flow as the yin and yang. The human body is no exception to this law of opposites, interacting to form a balance. These opposites are created through electromagnetism. The four basic elements required for all life, including human life, are oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, and carbon. Along with minor elements, these are the building blocks of life. Okay. In looking at these elements, we find the magic of magnetic polarity at work, creating the push and pull, the yin and yang of the opposites. The two opposites in all animal life are classified as anabolism and catabolism. Putting all this together, then, we find that hydrogen is anabolic in nature. Hence, it tends to solidify and concentrate. Oxygen is a catabolic and tends to dissolve and disintegrate. A combination of the two forces is absolutely essential to the continuance of the living organism. It is this disintegrating faculty of oxygen that makes it a powerful internal cellular cleanser. The average person maintains a venal oxygen level of 60 to 70%. As we mentioned earlier, all toxic material, whether natural toxins from cellular activity or foreign toxins ingested from our environment, must be neutralized rapidly and in preparation for removal. This has got to, everybody has got to do this. You got to get these metals and the fibers. This stuff removes all of that. Everything we're being exposed to, hydrogen peroxide, food-grade hydrogen peroxide, will eliminate out of your body. Hold on. Oxygen plays an important part in the process. The average person, chronically ill persons can have a depleted oxygen level as low as 55%. It has been estimated that a minimum of 50% oxygen level is required. What? It has been estimated that a minimum of 50% oxygen level is required in order to stay in life. Okay. All of these figures are too low in the light of the excessive toxins in our environment. If we examine the blood of any one of several indigenous tribes who have been known for their longevity, we will find they have oxygen levels of 70% on the low side up. On the low side, up to as much as 85%. Levels of 80% or more produce a dramatic increase in cellular activity, yielding greater energy. And you know what? I am feeling a lot more energetic, alright, over the past couple days. My mental energy is better. My physical energy is better, although I am disabled and I have chronic back pain, so I'm still limited. Anyways, I hope that this cleansing will help me with that. Anyways, where was I? Okay, levels of 80% or more produce a dramatic increase in cellular activity, yielding greater energy and a healthy glow that comes from a physical and mental state of well-being. Wow. I highly recommend this. I do. Again, it's a very hard cleanse. Very hard cleanse. You don't want to be too far from a bathroom, and you're going to want to do a lot of sleeping. I'm 3 weeks into it. I'm seeing the results, and I'm also feeling the results. So I'm going to end it here and just kind of leave. I'll post the link. So you guys, take this into consideration. Everybody needs to get all the chemicals, all the metals, all the nanofibers, nanodust out of their bodies. It's imperative that everybody, because we have to fight this. We have to fight the chemtrails. We have to fight everything, the viruses they're putting out. One step. You can do it all in one step with using hydrogen food grade, 35% hydrogen peroxide. It's incredible stuff. All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful day.